Yeah, it was. I think I said at post game, it's why we play exhibition games. I think there were some nerves and some sped up play on both ends, and yet I thought defensively we had some really positive energy, and you take away a couple banked in threes, and all of a sudden your defense looks really, really good. Really positive. Keeping them off the line, something we've talked at length about. Trent really only had a couple of silly reaches that we were trying to get out of our program. And then I thought our ability to get to the line are things that even though we didn't shoot great, and if you'll remember, I think we've done this just about every year we've gone over there. We shot 83 or 84% in the scrimmage of South Carolina. We haven't been in that in the State Farm Center, so it was a little adjustment, get going in there. I think we're a good free throw shooting team, and we'll see that play out. But getting to the line was big, and we got 47% of our misses back, which was a great number, and yet I was really disappointed in our consistent effort going to the glass. So we've got to clean that up a little bit, and I've talked about that. But I loved our balance in our field goal attempts. I thought we had a nice mix of especially after the first 8, 6, 7, 8 minutes where we were 2 of 11 from the three. I thought we had a nice mix after that. So that's what we're looking for, and excited to get this thing up and running tomorrow. Get a team in Nicholls State who's very, very athletic. They play extremely hard. They're not a real big team in terms of size, but they have big wings, and they're an old team. They're a team that has a lot of upperclassmen. So they play very much what we call up the line, on the line defensively. They try to take everything away. They'll run and jump you. They'll press you. They try to turn it into a very athletic game. We've got to be very disciplined. We've got to be ball tough. And yet sometimes it's not the prettiest game in the world when you play a team like this. You've just got to go make basketball plays. So we're excited, and we've got our hands full.
Looking over the film, were there certain lineups or certain pairings that stood out to you after the Lewis exhibition game?
Well, we had some positives with a little bit of everything, to be honest. And we're trying to, we only played Georgie 4 minutes and 57 seconds at the 5. And, we played him 18 or 19 minutes, close to 19 minutes at the 4 spot. That's got to shift a little bit. I went too long in a stretch with Kofi. I played Kofi 6.5, 7 minutes straight. I'll try to avoid that in the future. But I thought we got really good play out of Ben. I thought we got good play out of Kipper, so that gives us some comfort there, knowing that we don't have to play Kofi in those long stretches. So I like that. I felt really positive about that. DeMonte graded out defensively exceptionally well. I feel good about that. We've got to continue to get more rebounding from Io, more rebounding from Trent on the defensive end. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there was a little bit of everything in that exhibition.
What's the expectation for just how much you can play Benjamin and how much you put on his plate right away?
Well, you obviously saw that I didn't play him in the first half. I mean, there's a fragile line between playing and playing well, and wanting him to play well, not giving him a chance to really fail. 4 practices. It was his 5th. That's not very many, and yet I was really pleased because he came out and he played and he stayed in his lane, so to speak. Terminology, didn't try to do too much. And, the very first play he was in was a free throw. He ran our little free throw play. almost saved it on a missed free throw. That's how tuned in and dialed in he was, and then defensively he was great. So expectations are a little higher, and maybe a little more frequent. But again, it's a comfort thing till he gets really dialed in, and his conditioning is still maturing as we move along.
Stayed in his lane, maybe having just 4 practices in. Is that a rarity where maybe he's back on the court and some guys try and do too much? Or
Well, I think it speaks to his intelligence. I think it speaks to his commitment. I think his understanding of film, understanding what we do, his basketball IQ is through the roof. He's a very, very highly intelligent kid in terms of what he understands and what he processes. And we were able to get him out in situations and just walk through things with him, not full speed, but walk through them. So he had an understanding of what we were trying to do. But actually, until you get out there and you get going full speed and body's hitting you, and it's a different animal. But I was really pleased with that. And his mental approach, had it not been what it was, would have strapped him, and it does players. But his ability to pick things up has enabled him to find the court.
Right, what's the
A lot of these guys in a pretty short time have been through quite a bit, from close losses to big wins. In what ways does that help you guys on the floor this year?
Well, it's experience. Experience is everything, and it's even though you look at us on paper, we're really a young basketball team. But game experience, we've been through it, so we've been able to experience the Gonzaga loss and the quick turnaround that you had, and the Michigan State win or the Ohio State win. So you experience those things, and those are positives because now we've been through it. Now we've got guys telling them what to expect and what's coming, instead of me as a coach trying to tell them what's coming. And it's a different deal when they're listening to it from their peers. So experience is a big part of that.
How much of a challenge is it, 3 games in less than a week at the beginning of the season? How does conditioning factor into all that?
Conditioning's a piece of it. We're having to manage that. We've been on the go since Friday. Friday night was a late night for us, and as a coaching staff, and you burn it at both ends. We went at 10 o'clock Saturday morning to get it done before the football game, and still give our guys, we felt like we could give our guys really off 24 hours until Sunday afternoon's practice to start prepping for Nicholls. So now you go, Sunday, Monday, play Tuesday. We got to come back Wednesday morning. We'll leave Wednesday afternoon, and then make the trip, play on Friday, and then quick turn again on Saturday. So it's a lot there. It's a lot for them to process. We've got a great staff. We'll have them prepared. But again, it's the part of recovery, understanding your bodies, understanding how important sleep is. All of those things turn into the keys to being successful. And we're talking to our guys at length about those things.
Discuss the level of comfort in being able to turn to a Kipper, a 5th-year senior, maybe as your first front court guy off the bench, and have everything, at least know what he's doing and be okay, and have that level of experience.
Well, and I think that's one thing that you guys will find out, and you guys know with me, I'm looking for as much productivity off the bench as I do in the starting 5. And you want some punch, and you want some value when you come in off the bench. And Kipper's a guy that's has had big moments and had a lot of success. He's also a guy that know's not going to be all worked up and nervous and uptight and kind of what you're getting with him. So yeah, we feel really positive about that right now, and felt good about his minutes the other night.
Double-double out of Kofi in his first collegiate game. What do you think of his performance in that exhibition, and is that hopefully a sign of things to come?
Yeah, there were some things I didn't like about the way he played. You know, I thought he got tired and didn't rebound as well as he's capable. I thought he left 3 or 4 rebounds out there. I asked him after the game, when I got done talking to you guys, he was downstairs. I said, "What'd you think?" He said, "Man, I got tired." You know, he goes, "I got tired." And, you know, I left him in that long segment, 6.5, 7 minutes. That's too long. But I thought he did some really positive things. He occupies space. I thought there was an opportunity in the first half to go block a shot, and he stood flat-footed at our end. And you know, then in the second half, he was much better protecting the rim. But you know, all in all, you know, give it a B. He's got a lot of room to improve. He brought the ball down a couple times. We've worked a lot here in the last few days at not doing that. It's a habit he's got to get out of. He's been so big and strong; it's never been a problem. But you know, those are freshman things and things he'll grow from.
This morning, Io said this coming week is like the biggest week for Illinois basketball in recent memory. Do you agree with that, or what do you think makes him come to that assessment?
Power 5 team on the road, first week of the season. Really? I mean, playing those 2 teams. Yeah, I think it's pretty big. I don't know the last time that's been done. Yeah, I got to exclude Lon. I think Lon did it last year, opening up at Texas San Antonio, and I'm sure it has been done. But yeah, when you're going on the road and you're going to face a sellout crowd at Grand Canyon, one of the great home courts in the country, and then one of the historically great programs in the last 30 years at Arizona on the road, the first week of the season, it's a great test. I'm excited about it.
Kofi and Georgie are concerned. How did you like their camaraderie? Had their play together? That high-low game had a couple nice passes there, but those 2 working together on the court.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I thought there were some good things. I thought Georgie got a little loose a couple times with a couple passes, and maybe he looked too much to try to force it in there. We talked about that. We've got to create a little more movement. But yeah, I mean, they're going to play well together. They're both extremely unselfish. Kofi returned the favor to Georgie. You know, I think it's one of the unsung things about Kofi is he's a really good passer as well. So, you know, as things and defenses change, I think we'll see that be a pretty good duo.
Year 3 for you now. You've been in Champaign for a little while. How has the lead up to this season been for you? Has it felt any different, or are you starting to settle in there?
Yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot different, you know, and it's our players make that happen. You know, you feel great about having veterans back. You feel great about the addition of certain players to your program every year. So you're growing there. You're excited about the direction recruiting's going. There's a comfort around the office now. There's a comfort on the court now. All of that is positive. And then, yeah, there's expectation. We're never running from that. That's, you know, if you guys think I'm going to run from that and run from a good fight, you guys don't know me very well. I think that's the one thing that we're excited about are those challenges, and we think we've got a locker room full of guys who are really proud to wear that jersey, and that feels good as a coach.
Into tomorrow's game, what are just some of the questions you're looking to have answered about just what this team is?
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. You know, we're still trying to, what is our identity? When that opposing team and that opposing coach watches us play, what does he see? And knowing what we want to try to be, and I think every single day, we had 10 kills the other night, what we call a kill. That's 3 consecutive stops. We had 10 of those in the game. That's part of our identity. Hard contested 2s and then 1 shot. And if you do that enough, you can sustain a bad start like we had. You can sustain really poor shooting because we can't control shooting. That's what I want it to be. Are we getting there yet? We'll see. Another opponent, another opportunity. That's toughness. That's what it takes to go on the road and win. It's what it takes to sustain every single night. We don't talk about playing an opponent. They're nameless and faceless. It's about us going and do our job, handling the scouting report that game, and being that type of team.
Getting into this, you've talked about Trent's growth as a leader, maybe being more vocal. Have you seen something similar in his game? It seemed like against Lewis, he picked his spots and then was obviously pretty successful in the.
He was unbelievable. He graded out defensively 0 points against, which is almost impossible to do. He makes so many things easy because of experience and understanding. Defensively, he's hardly ever in the wrong position. Offensively, he's playing with tremendous confidence. He's running the floor every single time when he's not playing at the point. He has shot, knock on wood, he shot 52% through, today was our 26th practice from the three. He's just playing with tremendous confidence and like a savvy veteran. And he played 19 minutes the other night. He had the 2 silly fouls, but boy, everything else was just rock solid.
You mentioned a little bit earlier how it feels different coming into year 3 now. And in your first 2 years, you talked about building the culture that you want to see that Illinois basketball has. Do you feel like going into year 3, that culture is here, or do you feel like there's still some steps that need to be taken this season to get to the culture that you want to have?
Yeah, building your culture never stops. That's an everyday deal. That's an everyday thing. That's our staff doing it. That's our players working towards it. I don't think that the great programs in the history of team sports ever stop working on building their culture. I feel really, really good about it. I know we practiced this morning, and when I left, there was a couple guys in the gym working on things that they have to be better. There were a couple guys in the office. Those are the little things that we handle. I get midweek grades or week-to-week grades, and I see guys taking care of their responsibility in the classes and going to classes and doing the right things. And not everybody's perfect, but man, we're starting to do a lot of really, really good things, and that's our culture is being an everyday guy and doing what we're supposed to do.
You said that you were just tinkering with the starting lineup against Lewis, and we know how you feel about starting lineups and bench and the minutes and whatsoever. But would you prefer to have a wing in that 3 spot starting? That way you could keep Felice coming off the bench to help out with that, or are you okay with that starting lineup of having him starting?
It has to be Felice. I'll be honest. I think there's some scouting stuff that's out there that teams have to deal with that group on the court. I think they can pose some matchup problems. I'm going to keep prodding them to do more. I need those 3 guys to continue to do more. There can't be a gap. There can't be a weakness. And yet there's something a little bit different when they're not in there. I'm still weighing that. I don't know. It didn't play a ton of minutes together, in particular because of Trent's foul problems. But I think they played 62% of the time, I think was the number, and that will probably go up a little bit. But again, DeMonte gives us something. Allen gives us something a little different. Kipper, when we slide him over, gives us something different. So it gives me some nice options. We'll see. Matchups will have something to do with it too.
I think programs can feed off of each other. The football team has 3 wins in a row. You guys starting the season. Can you guys play off each other?
Most contagious thing going is winning. Most contagious thing going is winning. I say it all the time. I was very, very blessed when I was at Oklahoma State. I got to live that, and winning programs it just feeds off each other. We were that time we were the only program that hadn't been in the NCAA tournament, if I'm not mistaken, and there's nothing better than that excitement that's generated from the players having their winning locker room moments, to the fans, to you guys. Everybody's got an upbeat swagger about them when they walk around and their heads held high, and that's a lot of fun. And so the job they're doing is incredible, and absolutely we're going to try to feed off that every way we can.
There was a play on Friday that Kofi nearly had a pretty good dunk, but he was fouled. We've probably seen enough of those in practice. What does that do to you guys when someone like him gets up and does it from an energy level?
Yeah, a dunk is one of the most exciting plays in basketball, and it's a moment that creates energy, and we've got I think we'll see our fair share of those over the course of the season from him, and it's something that we don't set out to create a bunch of them. I think we're getting to a point where naturally we're going to have some of those things happen where he can play in space that very few can. So, but yeah, it's an exciting play, and I think our fans will come to enjoy it, and hopefully the rims can hold him.
Jones update?
Not playing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Coach.